I don't know, should somebody tell them? Is anybody else going to tell them? Because, well, I thought it was pretty obvious, right? But the top streamed shows are almost all old. Why is that? Yeah, why are people going back and searching through the archives when there's just such a dearth of content? When you have how many cable channels? You've got the networks just rolling out their brand new slate of content. Hell, we're right in the middle of the broadcast season, but why are everybody, why, when they're given the opportunity at a buffet of content, going back and looking at the old stuff? I would just listen to the mainstream point of view on this one, because heaven forbid I would give up the ghost on this one and give you the most logical reasons. The most streamed shows last year wasn't the latest Netflix television show craze. Yes, because what was the big Netflix show of 2023? Yeah, I don't know either. Nor was it the highly anticipated final season of Succession or the debut of The Last of Us. No, because for the people that watched The Last of Us, some people said it was good. Some people said it was slow. Some people are tired of seeing Pedro Pascal everywhere. And as for the final season of Succession, well, the first two seasons, apparently, from what I hear, are exceptionally good. The fourth season, well, it kind of fell apart at the seams, but this isn't a Succession or The Last of Us review. We're talking about TV in general. According to Nielsen, the most minutes last year, more than 57 billion, were spent watching Suits, a legal drama that premiered 12 years prior. The show, which is available to stream on Netflix and Peacock, stars the former actress Meghan Markle, now the Duchess of Sussex, and likely has her to thank for the second life, but Suits isn't the exception. But yeah, also, as you can see, Suits spin-off series, Suits LA, in the works, and yeah, that's definitely getting shot and cast, and I don't know, that might end up being dead on arrival. I guess time will tell if people really like Suits or they were just watching it to just, hope catch an unflattering glimpse of a royal. Old shows, which debuted over a decade ago, dominated the top streaming list in 2023. But then also, for the fifth consecutive year, what was the biggest streaming? It's not network, I guess application platform. What was the top streaming platform? All right, YouTube. Keep that in mind as well. So, several of the programs, including Suits, Gilmore Girls, and Friends, have been off the air for years. Yeah, and even some of the people that were starring in those shows have been off. But yeah, okay, so you got Suits, Bluey. I've never even heard of Bluey. Okay, NCIS. Yeah, it's been running forever. Grey's Anatomy. Coco Melon, Big Bang Theory, Gilmore Girls, Friends, Heartland. Like, outside of two exceptions, all of these shows, three, I guess, Suits, debuted in 2011. Even still, okay, all of these shows, except for the two, except for Bluey, Coco Melon, Bluey and Coco Melon, all started, yes, more than 10 years ago, and the vast majority of them 20 years ago. And then with Friends, back in the 90s. It wrapped up in the early stages of the 2000s. Like, what's going on? In a year where major strikes by Hollywood actors and writers halted the production of a lot of new content, viewers may be inspired to revisit old favorites while waiting for their new shows to come back. Well, if that was the case, okay, like if a lot of people were anticipating other shows or their favorite shows to continue, with a new season, you would think that you would see people going back and refreshing their memory off those previous shows, but no, they're going back to Supernatural. Many of these shows have a persistent nostalgia factor. New York Times recently described Gilmore Girls as an endless buffet of TV comfort food. I guess. Fans of Friends, yes, that's been syndicated everywhere, so it would be really weird to just go ahead and sign up for a streaming service that on any given day you could probably watch a consistent 12-hour marathon of Friends if you just simply bounce around to the right channels. But yeah, of course, with the unfortunate, passing of Matthew Perry within the past few months, I could have gave it a bump, but still, it's like Friends is always at least in the top 20, if not the top 10 of highest rated streaming shows. Like, there's a reason that Netflix paid an exorbitant amount of money to stream it on their platform, because it's popular. It's very popular. Watching something comforting can take away from the stress. Invest in the infinite choices of our disposal. With Big Cope from psychologist Sabrina Romanoff. Yes, old well and good. Old shows also have another advantage over new content when it comes to streaming minutes. Their libraries are so much larger. Well, yes, of course. There's one season of The Last of Us as opposed to 21 seasons of NCIS. 19 seasons of Grey's Anatomy? Holy shit. Ultra young audience. Right. Tulsa doesn't care if they've seen the same episode of Coco Melon 5 times or 500 times. Yeah, that's a big cope on that one as well. Yeah, no, those old shows have very big libraries, except for those new ones that are on there. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Yeah, okay. Nielsen also ranked the top 10 original streaming shows, but none of them reached, the same volume of time watched the acquired programs did. So yeah, you had Ted Lasso, The Night Agent. Like I've heard of Ted Lasso. Haven't heard of Ginny and Georgia, Virgin River, Love is Blind. I've heard of that one. Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. I've seen that advertised. Gabby's Dollhouse, The Mandalorian. Oof. Oh yeah, and that even had season 3. Everybody hated season 3. Outer Banks and The Lincoln Lawyer. I remember the movie Lincoln Lawyer, but okay, not the TV show. The most streamed movies, meanwhile, were Moana from 2016 and Encanto, both featured films on Disney Plus from 2016 and 2020. So they didn't address the elephant in the room on this one, and that the quality of writing has precipitously dropped off in recent years, okay? Not by a little, but by a lot. The evergreen nature of things like Suits, like Friends. There's a reason that people, when they're still making reference, have a timely comparisons to The Simpsons, to South Park. While both of those shows continue to go on, one has descended into meme status for simply being a zombified version of the Halcyon Days. South Park is still biting, cunning, and witty. I'm sure this year you're probably going to see, in those top charts, House of the Dragon, season 2 is going to be coming out, and that was very well received in the first season. Still, it's only going to be 8 episodes, but we'll see if that amount of cope is afforded to this list the next time around. But you don't want to reconcile with the simple fact that, it's a very easy to compare. It's a very easy comparison to make to Hollywood, because you get the direct feedback of how many people purchase the tickets. What are the box office hauls of these outlandishly expensive productions? I guess you can, just take a look at the cable TV and the fact that people continue to cut cords, and then even when they do cut cords, do they go back and try to find the digital versions of the shows that they obviously gave up on? No. That's clearly not the case. So why are the top stream shows almost always old? I think it's a pretty obvious reason. And you can go ahead and you can try to blame everybody else, okay? You can go around and point to, bigger catalogs for older shows, okay? Nostalgic feelings, a complete story being told. But in actuality, you continue to point around, but you don't also realize that, I'm just pointing at ghosts, and the real reason is staring me directly in the face. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.